Good morning, everyone. My name is Anju Bala, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Dayanand College, Hisar. Today, we will discuss about a topic of BSc Medical 6th semester, and the paper's name is Insect, Vectors and Diseases. So, let's start with a topic that is general features of insects. If we start with the classification, then as we know, class Insecta falls under kingdom Animalia and phylum Arthropoda. Insects are also called as hexapoda because of the presence of 6 legs on their body. Insecta is the largest class of the phylum Arthropoda, where Arthropoda is itself the largest phylum of the kingdom Animalia. Term arthropoda is derived from a Greek word where arthros means jointed and podos means legs. Another feature of arthropoda is their segmented body and jointed limbs, which we also can call as jointed legs. And if we consider their body plan, then it is bilateral symmetrical and they are triploblastic in nature. If we talk about the habitat of insects, then it is a great fact that insects live in just about every habitat on earth, from sands of the hot desert to even the cold snowy mountain streams. Here are examples of the different insects which inhabit different places. As Ballostoma, which we also call as water bug, it is a water inhabiting insect, and cockroach, locusts, etc. They are example of some land inhabiting insects. Then if we talk about the honeybees, dragonflies, then these are air inhabiting insects. And the aphid, body louse, etc. they are some example of parasitic insects which live on the body of some other organism. Moving next to the body division of insects, we should always remember that insect body is always divided into 3 parts. The first part comprises of head, which consists of a pair of antennae, a pair of compound eyes, ocelli and mouth parts. The second body part is thorax. Thorax is the area where wings and legs they are found attached on the body of insects. And the last segment of insect body is called as abdomen, which is 6 to 11 segmented. Moving to the exoskeleton of insects. Exoskeleton is just a hard covering that supports and protects the insect body. And this exoskeleton is composed of a hard substance called as chitin, which is a polymer of acetyl glucosamine. And these chitinous plates are called as sclerites. And each segment of insect body that is surrounded by 4 sclerites. As the sclerite found on the dorsal side of insect body is called as tergum, and the sclerite found on the ventral side that is called as the sternum, whereas the sclerites present on the lateral side of insect body they are termed as pleura. Cephalic appendages means the appendages found on the head of insects, and cephalic appendages includes a pair of antennae which serves as a sensory structure in insect body, then a pair of compound eyes which helps in the vision of insects, means these help them to see the objects. Then the other appendages includes 0 to 3 ocelli, and these ocelli they help in the detection of light intensities. And the next appendages is mouth parts which helps them in their feeding. Mouth parts are modified differently in the different type of insects according to their mode of feeding and their requirement. We basically divide mouth parts into the 2 functional groups, and these are haustellate type of mouthparts and mandibulate type of mouthparts. Haustellate type includes following types as piercing and sucking type of mouthparts, sponging type of mouthparts, siphoning type and the lapping type of mouthparts found in different insects. And if we talk about the mandibulate mouthparts, then it includes chewing type of mouthparts. Primitive arrangement of mouthparts is seen in the cockroach. Here they are used for the biting purpose. There are 5 different structures which are used for the initial collection and the processing of food. And these different structures are labrum, a pair of mandible, a pair of maxilla and a labium and labial palps. If we talk about their functions, then labrum, it is a cover which may be loosely referred to as the upper lip, and mandibles are the hard, powerful cutting jaws. Maxilla, which are also called as pincers, they are less powerful than mandibles. They are used to steady and manipulate the food. They have a 5-segmented palp which is sensory and often concerned with the taste. And if we talk about labium, then it is just a lower cover which we often refer to as lower lip. It actually represents the fused part of ancestral second maxillae. They have a 3-segmented palp which is also sensory. And the last one is hypopharynx. It is a tongue-like structure in the floor of the mouth. The salivary glands discharge saliva through it. If we talk about the modification of mouth parts, then the piercing and sucking type of modification of mouth parts, they are found in mosquitoes, aphids and sucking lice. And the siphoning type of mouth parts, they are found in butterflies and moths. Lapping type, they are found in honeybees, and sponging type mouth parts, they are found in houseflies. And chewing type, as already discussed, they are found in cockroach, grasshopper and ants, etc. In honeybee, the mandibles, they are very small and suitable for molding the wax, and labium is curved downward and inward, forming a tube used for sucking up nectars. Here is the picture depicting the modification of mouth parts. As we can see, there are sponging type of mouth parts, chewing type, piercing and sucking type, and also the siphoning type of mouth parts shown. Now, if we talk about the thoracic appendages of insects, then thorax is the second part of insect body after the head, and this thorax is 3-segmented, named prothorax, mesothorax, and the distal one is called as the metathorax. Main function of thorax is to facilitate the locomotion to insect body, and for this purpose insect bears one pair of leg on each thoracic segment, and wings are always found on the last 2 segments of insect body, that is on the mesothorax and the metathorax. But sometimes only one pair of wing is functioning and the other one is reduced or absent. Just like the mouth parts, insect legs, they are also modified for different functions in the different insects. As in grasshopper, to facilitate the function of jumping, legs are modified to possess elongated femur and tibia. Here, the modified legs, they are called as the saltatory type of legs. In the same way, there are the many other type of modification, as the ambulatorial type of modification is primarily for the walking type, and cursorial is for the learning type, And saltatory is for jumping type, fossorial is for digging type, which are found in the mole cricket, raptorial is for the grasping type, and it is found in the praying mantis, which helps it to capture its prey. And natatorial modification is a swimming type that is found in the water bugs and helps in its swimming. Forageal legs, these are modified for the pollen collecting purpose and they are found in the honeybees. And the sticking type of legs, they are found in our houseflies, which helps them to stick to the objects and to the walls. Here, the picture clearly shows the modification of legs found in the different insects to perform different functions as per their requirement. If we talk about the abdominal appendages of insects, then it is formed of 9 to 11 segments, and these abdominal segments, they are interconnected by a membrane called as conjunctiva. Each abdominal segment that is made up of only two type of chitinous plates. On the dorsal side it is tergum and on the ventral side the chitinous plate is sternum. First abdominal segment contain 8 pairs of spiracles, and these spiracles, they are crucial for the respiration process of insects. 8th and 9th segment contain the female genital structure, whereas the 9th segment in males contain male genital structure. Thus, the abdominal appendages of insects are genital organs and anal cerci. Here is the picture clearly showing the abdominal appendages of insects. As in the picture on the left hand side, we can clearly see the segments found in the insect body and the chitinous plates like the tergum on the dorsal side and sternum on the ventral side. We can also see the presence of spiracles on the lateral side, and there are also one pair of spiracle per body segment. And in the picture on the right hand side, we can clearly see the genital organs and the anal cerci. If we talk about the endoskeleton of insects, then in the certain parts of insect body, integument invaginates, and this invagination of integument form rigid processes which finally serves for the attachment of muscles, and this internal framework that is now called as the endoskeleton. And the individual part of endoskeleton, they are called as the apodems or fragmenta. Here in this picture we can clearly see how the integument invaginates and then it finally forms the endoskeleton. If we talk about the body cavity of insects, then we must know that in insects, true coelom is replaced by the hemocoels, and that's why insects are also called as the hemocoelomate. It means that hemocoel is the main body cavity found in the insects. Moving next to the alimentary canal of insects. Alimentary canal here extends from mouth to anus in insects, and it is divided into three parts, where anterior part of alimentary canal, that is called as the stomachium, or as we call it foregut, and the middle part of alimentary canal, which we call as midgut, that is also known as mesenteron or the stomach of insects, or it is also sometimes referred as ventriculus. And the last one, posterior part of alimentary canal or the hindgut, it is also known as the proctoidium. And If we talk about the origins of these parts, then the foregut and hindgut, these two portions, they are ectodermal in origin, whereas the midgut or the mesenteron, it is endodermal in origin. And here in this picture we can also see the different parts of alimentary canal very well. Now talking about the respiration in insects. Insects uses tracheae and they show the tracheal respiration. These tracheae, they are ectodermal tubes which opens to the outside of insect body with the mean of spiracles. And these spiracles, they are located laterally along the thorax and abdomen of insects. And if we talk about the arrangement of spiracle, then the arrangement is like one pair of spiracle per body segment. And here in this picture we can clearly see how the tracheal intercom is spread in the insect's body, as the spiracle, it is present on the outside of insect body and then it leads to the trachea, and trachea here divides and redivides and finally led to the formation of tracheoles, and these tracheoles, they are directly connected with the body cells of insects. Moving next to the circulation system in insects. Insects have an open circulatory system where insect blood, also called as the hemolymph, it flows freely within the body cavity and making direct contact with all the internal organs of insects. Then there is a dorsal vessel, which is a closed organ, and this dorsal vessel extends from hind end of the insect body to its head. And this dorsal vessel is also considered as insect's heart because of the presence of muscles and ostia. And these ostia, they are just the lateral paired apertures, and these ostia are the openings that allow hemolymph to enter and exit. Hemolymph enter the heart when it is relaxed. Heart then contracts and pumps the hemolymph through the vessels toward the head of insect. There, hemolymph exits the vessel to flow back through the body cavity, coming into contact with all the tissues and the organs. Here, this picture clearly shows the circulation in insects. We can very well see the movement of hemolymph through the insect body and how the hemolymph is making the direct contact with all the organs and the tissues of insect. Plus, we can also see the heart and the dorsal vessel of insect and also how the hemolymph moves. Now moving next to the excretion system in insects. Then the Malpighian tubules, they are the main osmoregulatory and the excretory organs in the insects. And these Malpighian tubules, they are also considered analogous to the kidneys of vertebrata. And these Malpighian tubules, they vary in number from 2 in some species to more than 100 in the other species. Plus, these Malpighian tubules, they don't open directly to the exterior of insect body, but they open to the alimentary canal at the junction between the midgut and the hindgut. Now, if we talk about the urine output, then the primary urine together with the soluble product of digestion and insoluble indigestible material coming from the midgut finally altogether passes to the rectum. Therefore, we can also say that insect's excretory system comprises the Malpighian tubules and the rectum acting together. And If we talk about the type of excretion found in the insects, then the terrestrial insects, they are generally the uricotelic in excretion. Although aquatic insects and the some insect larvae, they are amonotelic in excretion. Here in this picture, we can very well see the location of Malpighian tubules and how they function. As we can see how the excretory substance that are required for the insect body, they are reabsorbed, and the ones that are not required, they are excreted out from the insect body. When we talk about the endocrine glands of insects, all we talk about is prothoracic gland, corpora cardiaca, corpora alata, and neurosecretory cells. In insect, largest endocrine glands, they are found in the prothorax, and these are called as prothoracic glands. These lie just behind the head of insect, and these prothoracic glands, they manufacture a hormone called as ecdysons, which is very important to stimulate the molting process in insects. But these glands, they degenerate in the adults. And if we talk about the corpora alata, then corpora alata are just the pair of neurohemal organs that lie just behind the corpora cardiaca. These corpora alata manufacture juvenile hormones that inhibit the development of adult characteristics during the immature stages. And corpora cardiaca, they are located behind the brain, and these are responsible to secrete the growth hormones in insects. And in last, when we talk about the neurosecretory cells, these neurosecretory cells, they are found in cluster in insect's brain, and they secrete brain hormone. When Now moving next to the nervous system of insects. Insects have a simple nervous system with a dorsal brain which is linked to a ventral nerve cord, and that consists of paired segmental ganglia running along the ventral midline of thorax and abdomen. These ganglia supply nerves to the successive segment of body. Three main ganglia are found in the head, and they are named as protocerebrum, deuterocerebrum, and the tritocerebrum. These three ganglia, they are fused together to form the brain, or sometimes also called as supraesophageal ganglion. Here is the picture depicting the nervous system of insects. The picture on the left hand side clearly shows the supraesophageal ganglion or the brain on the dorsal side of insect body. Then it is connected to the ventral nerve cord. Plus we can also see segmental ganglia and how they are located on the each segment of insect body. So in general, we can say that the central nervous system of insect, that is ladder-like in appearance. If we talk about the reproduction in insects, then nearly all insects reproduce by the sexual reproduction, which involves formation and fusion of gametes. But there are also some species of insects that reproduce asexually by a process called as parthenogenesis, in which a female's egg can produce a new organism without being fertilized by sperms. And in the sexually reproducing organisms, they show mainly the internal fertilization, with the exception of some aquatic insects. And Insects are generally the unisexual or dioecious, and they also shows the sexual dimorphism, means male and female body have some different characters, as we can very well see in the cockroach, as male cockroach possesses the anal style in its body and female cockroach possesses brood pouch. Insects are generally oviparous and eggs are centrolethal. If we If we talk about the development of insects, then development may be of direct type where the young organisms resembles the smaller version of adults, or the development may also be of indirect type in some insects where the larval stages they are very different in the form from the adult organism. These larval forms undergo the varying degree of metamorphosis, or means they undergo the varying degree of change in their body form. Then four types of metamorphosis they are recognized for insects, and these are ametamorphosis, gradual metamorphosis, incomplete metamorphosis and complete metamorphosis. If we talk about the ametamorphosis, it means without metamorphosis. In this case, immatures they are called as juveniles, and ametamorphosis is exhibited by the insects such as springtails, silverfish and firebrats. Changes in the body form during the growth they are minor, and all immature stages they resemble their adults. Now moving next to the gradual metamorphosis. In this case, immature are called as nymphs. Gradual metamorphosis is exhibited by the grasshopper, crickets, true bug, etc. Change in the body form is gradual, with the most obvious change involving the development of external wing pads and the difference in color or the markings. Nymph and adult generally share the same habitat. Now, moving next to the incomplete metamorphosis. In this case, immature they are called as naiads. Incomplete metamorphosis is exhibited by the dragonflies, damselflies and mayflies. Immature don't closely resemble their adults. Naiads have tracheal gills. However, transition to the adult form is gradual, means the external wing pad develop in the later instar stages. Plus, nymph and adult they dwell in the different habitats. And moving next to the complete metamorphosis. For the insects that undergo the complete metamorphosis, immatures are called here larva and pupa. Complete metamorphosis is exhibited by butterflies, moths, beetles, flies, ants, etc. In this case, larvae don't resemble their adults. Wings and adult feature they develop during an immobile pupal stage. Immature and adult may or may not share same habitat. Immatures are adapted primarily for feeding, whereas adults are adapted for the reproduction and dispersal. Here are example of some insects that undergo different type of metamorphosis to finally emerge as a adult organism. It was all about the general features of insects. Thank you so much for listening.